Right now, millions of people are slowly damaging one of the most powerful systems in their body, and most of them think they are living completely normal lives. The bloating feels normal, the fatigue feels normal, the random stomach discomfort feels normal. Even the anxiety and brain fog feel like part of modern life. But what if I told you that one simple daily habit repeated without thinking is quietly disrupting the delicate ecosystem inside your gut? Not in a dramatic overnight collapse, but in a slow, silent shift that builds day after day. Your gut is not just a food tube, it is home to trillions of bacteria that control digestion, immunity, inflammation, metabolism, and even mood. Nearly 70% of your immune system is connected to your gut. A large portion of serotonin, the chemical linked to happiness and emotional stability, is produced there. When this internal system is balanced, you feel light, clear, and energetic. When it is disturbed, the effects ripple through your entire body. The shocking part is that the damage often begins with a habit that feels harmless, convenient, and socially accepted. It is built into busy routines. It hides in quick meals, constant snacking, late night cravings, and foods engineered to taste irresistible. And the gut pays the price long before any serious diagnosis appears. Scientific research over the last decade has revealed that ultra processed food patterns and low fiber diets can reduce microbial diversity in the gut within days. Diversity is not just a fancy word, it means resilience. The more diverse your gut bacteria, the stronger your defense against inflammation, infections, and metabolic disease. When diversity drops, harmful bacteria gain ground. The gut lining can weaken. Low-grade inflammation can begin. You may not feel pain, you may just feel off, slightly tired, slightly bloated, slightly anxious. Over time, slightly becomes constantly. Modern lifestyles normalize digestive discomfort so much that people joke about it. Gas, acid reflux, irregular bowel movements, and sugar cravings are treated as everyday inconveniences instead of warning signals. What makes this even more concerning is that the gut and brain are deeply connected through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. When your gut bacteria are imbalanced, stress responses can increase, mood can shift, focus can drop, cravings can intensify. It becomes a cycle. The very habit that disrupts your gut can also drive you to repeat it. That is why this topic matters more than most people realize. In this video, you will learn what this one habit really is, how it silently alters your gut environment, why it triggers bloating and fatigue, and how it can even influence your mental clarity and emotional state. You will understand what is happening inside your body on a biological level, explained in simple terms. You will discover the early signs that your gut is struggling, signs that are often ignored or misinterpreted. You will also learn why this damage builds slowly, why most people never connect their daily routine to their digestive problems, and why the solution is not as complicated as you might think. There are lesser known facts that rarely get discussed in short social media clips. For example, certain food additives used to improve texture and shelf life have been shown in experimental studies to alter gut bacteria and increase intestinal permeability. That means the protective barrier of your gut can become more vulnerable. Another overlooked truth is how quickly the microbiome responds to dietary changes. In some controlled trials, measurable shifts occurred in less than a week. That is both alarming and hopeful. It means the wrong habit can cause disruption fast, but the right change can begin repair just as quickly. This is not about fear, it is about awareness. Your gut is adaptable. It wants balance, but it cannot fight constant stress from daily choices that deprive good bacteria of fiber and feed the strains that thrive on sugar and processed ingredients. By the end of this video, you will see your routine differently. You will look at common foods and habits through a new lens. You will understand why your energy dips after certain meals, why cravings feel so strong, and why digestive discomfort has become so widespread in younger generations. Most importantly, you will realize that your gut is not weak. It is responding exactly the way biology predicts when exposed to repeated imbalance. Stay with me until the end because the final part of this video will connect everything together and reveal why fixing this one habit can unlock improvements not only in digestion but in mood, immunity, and long-term health. This information could change the way you treat your body starting today. Welcome to our channel, where we break down complex health science into simple, practical knowledge that you can actually use. If you care about your health and want clear, honest explanations without confusion, make sure you subscribe and join our growing community. Let's begin. Beneath the surface of daily life, a quiet health crisis is unfolding inside the human body, and it begins in the gut. Most people think the gut only matters for digesting food, but its role goes far beyond breaking down meals. The gut is a command center. It controls digestion, yes, but it also influences immunity, mood, energy levels, inflammation, and even how the body stores fat. Inside the digestive tract live trillions of microorganisms, mostly bacteria. This living community is called the gut microbiome. These microbes are not enemies. Many of them are essential partners in keeping the body stable and strong. They help break down fiber that human enzymes cannot digest. They produce vitamins such as vitamin K and certain B vitamins. They train the immune system to recognize threats. They communicate with the brain through chemical signals and nerve pathways. When this internal ecosystem is balanced, digestion feels smooth, energy feels steady, and the immune system responds properly. When it is disturbed, small problems begin to appear. Bloating becomes common. Fatigue lingers. Mood becomes unpredictable. Cravings intensify. The body feels slightly inflamed. The balance between beneficial and harmful bacteria shifts. Good bacteria normally keep harmful strains under control. They compete for space and nutrients. They produce compounds that reduce inflammation. They strengthen the lining of the intestines. But this balance is fragile. It depends heavily on daily habits, especially what is eaten every day. And one daily habit silently destroys this balance. That habit is constant consumption of ultra-processed, low-fiber food. It is not one single meal, it is a pattern. It is breakfast made of refined grains and added sugar. It is packaged snacks between meals. It is sugary drinks. It is fast food dinners. It is desserts late at night. It is frequent snacking on products designed for taste, not nutrition. Ultra-processed foods are typically high in sugar, high in refined carbohydrates, high in unhealthy fats, and very low in natural fiber. They often contain artificial additives, emulsifiers, flavor enhancers, and preservatives that extend shelf life and intensify flavor. Fiber is the key missing piece. Fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Without it, good microbes lose their main energy source. Sugar and refined starch, on the other hand, are rapidly absorbed in the upper digestive tract, leaving little nourishment for helpful bacteria in the colon. Meanwhile, certain harmful bacteria can thrive in low-fiber, high-sugar environments. Frequent snacking adds another layer of stress. The gut does not get enough time to rest and reset between digestive cycles. Instead, it is constantly processing, constantly reacting, constantly stimulated. This daily pattern slowly reshapes the microbial environment. Inside the gut, the first major impact is the loss of beneficial bacteria. Good bacteria depend on dietary fiber from vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains. When fiber intake drops, these bacteria begin to starve. Their populations shrink. Diversity decreases. Microbial diversity is critical because it creates resilience. A diverse microbiome can handle stress, infections, and dietary changes more effectively. When diversity falls, the ecosystem becomes unstable. Harmful strains can expand more easily. Some of these strains produce inflammatory compounds. Others generate gas in excess amounts. As beneficial bacteria decline, the protective effects they provide also decline. Short-chain fatty acids, such as butyrate, are produced when good bacteria ferment fiber. These fatty acids nourish the cells lining the colon and help reduce inflammation. With less fiber and fewer beneficial bacteria, production of these protective compounds decreases. The internal environment begins to shift from protective to vulnerable. The second impact involves the gut lining itself. The intestinal wall is not a simple open tube. It is a carefully regulated barrier. Its job is to allow nutrients to pass into the bloodstream while keeping toxins, harmful bacteria, and undigested particles out. Tight junction proteins hold the cells of the gut lining together. When the microbiome is balanced, these junctions remain strong. When ultra-processed foods dominate the diet, several factors can weaken this barrier. Low fiber reduces butyrate production, which is essential for maintaining healthy intestinal cells. Certain additives, such as emulsifiers used to improve texture in packaged foods, have been shown in experimental settings to disturb the mucus layer that protects the gut lining. High sugar intake may also promote inflammatory responses. As inflammation increases, tight junctions can loosen. This condition is often described as increased gut permeability. When permeability rises, substances that normally stay inside the gut can pass into circulation. The immune system detects them and reacts. This reaction can create low-grade chronic inflammation throughout the body. It does not always cause sharp pain. Instead, it may show up as fatigue, joint stiffness, skin irritation, or persistent digestive discomfort. The third impact appears in everyday symptoms like bloating and gas. When the microbial balance shifts, fermentation patterns change. Harmful or less efficient bacteria may produce excess gas when breaking down certain carbohydrates. Food may move too slowly or too quickly through the digestive tract. Constipation or diarrhea can develop. The feeling of heaviness after meals becomes common. Acid reflux may increase. Because ultra-processed foods are often low in natural enzymes and high in refined components, digestion becomes less efficient. The body struggles to process large amounts of simple sugars and unhealthy fats without sufficient fiber to regulate absorption. Blood sugar spikes and crashes follow. These fluctuations can affect energy levels and appetite signals. The gut-brain communication pathway detects these imbalances and sends distress signals. Over time, the body adapts to discomfort as a new normal. The fourth impact reaches beyond digestion and into mental health. The gut produces a large portion of the body's serotonin. Serotonin is involved in regulating mood, sleep, and emotional stability. Beneficial bacteria help influence its production. When the microbiome becomes imbalanced, serotonin signaling can be affected. Inflammation generated in the gut can also influence the brain. Inflammatory molecules can travel through circulation and interact with neural pathways. This may contribute to feelings of anxiety, irritability, or low mood. Brain fog can develop, concentration becomes harder. Cravings for sugar may intensify because certain imbalanced bacteria signal the brain to seek the very foods that help them grow. This creates a cycle. The more ultra-processed food consumed, the more the microbiome shifts. The more it shifts, the stronger the cravings and the more unstable mood and energy become. As this pattern continues daily, the immune system also becomes involved. Around 70% of immune cells are located in or around the gut. These cells constantly sample the environment inside the intestines. When harmful bacteria expand and gut permeability increases, immune cells become more reactive. Instead of responding only to real threats, they may stay in a semi-activated state. Chronic low-level inflammation becomes the background condition. This type of inflammation is subtle but significant. It has been associated with metabolic disorders, insulin resistance, and cardiovascular risk. It can also make the body more sensitive to stress. Stress hormones, in turn, influence gut motility and bacterial balance, deepening the imbalance further. Energy levels are closely connected to this entire process. Beneficial bacteria help extract energy from food in a balanced way. They assist in regulating blood sugar and storing nutrients appropriately. When the microbiome shifts toward imbalance, blood sugar regulation may worsen. After eating high sugar, low fiber meals, glucose rises quickly, then drops sharply. This crash leads to fatigue, irritability, and renewed hunger. Many people respond by eating another processed snack, restarting the cycle. Over time, cells may become less sensitive to insulin. Energy production inside mitochondria can be affected by chronic inflammation. The result is persistent tiredness that does not fully resolve with sleep. Even skin health can reflect the condition of the gut. The gut and skin communicate through immune and inflammatory pathways. When gut inflammation rises, skin conditions such as acne, eczema, or redness may worsen. The body attempts to eliminate inflammatory compounds through various channels, including the skin. What appears as a surface issue may have deeper roots in microbial imbalance and dietary patterns. Another overlooked factor is the reduction in microbial exposure from natural fiber-rich foods. Whole plant foods carry not only fiber but also polyphenols and other compounds that beneficial bacteria transform into anti-inflammatory substances. Ultra-processed foods lack these protective components. Without them, the microbiome loses access to important raw materials needed for balance. Diversity continues to shrink. A less diverse microbiome is less adaptable. It struggles more when faced with antibiotics, infections, or sudden dietary changes. Frequent snacking prevents the gut from entering a resting phase known as the migrating motor complex, a wave-like movement that helps clear residual food and bacteria between meals. Constant eating interrupts this cleansing process. Bacteria may remain in sections of the small intestine where they should not dominate. This can contribute to further bloating and discomfort. The gut becomes overloaded not only by what is eaten, but also by how often it is eaten. Over months and years, this single habit shapes the internal environment in profound ways. What begins as convenient eating gradually transforms microbial communities, weakens protective barriers, increases inflammation, and alters communication between the gut and brain. The body adapts, but adaptation does not mean improvement. It often means coping with imbalance. Many people accept daily bloating, irregular digestion, low energy, and mood swings as part of adulthood. They do not connect these symptoms to the constant intake of ultra-processed, low-fiber food. Yet the connection operates quietly in the background, influencing digestion, immunity, mood, and energy every single day. The signs usually begin quietly. A little bloating after meals, a feeling of heaviness that lingers longer than it should. Jeans feel tighter by the evening, even when portions were not large. Gas becomes common. The stomach feels stretched, uncomfortable, slightly painful at times, but not severe enough to trigger alarm. Many people start to plan their day around this discomfort without realizing it. They avoid certain social settings. They sit differently. They loosen belts. They tell themselves it is just how their body works. But constant bloating is not random. It often reflects fermentation imbalance inside the gut. When harmful bacteria increase and beneficial strains decrease, gas production patterns change. Food may not break down efficiently. The digestive rhythm becomes irregular. This is one of the earliest warning signs that the internal ecosystem is struggling. Then there is brain fog. Thoughts feel slower. Focus feels harder. Words sometimes take longer to find. Mental clarity drops, especially after meals high in sugar or refined carbohydrates. Energy rises briefly, then crashes. This is not just about willpower or poor sleep. The gut and brain communicate constantly through nerves, hormones, and immune signals. When inflammation rises in the gut, Inflammatory molecules can influence the brain. When blood sugar spikes and drops quickly, the brain feels it. When microbial diversity declines, the production of certain neurotransmitter related compounds shifts. The result can feel like mental haze. It builds slowly. At first, it is occasional. Later, it becomes familiar. Sugar cravings often follow. Strong desire for sweets or processed snacks appears in the afternoon or late at night. It feels intense, almost urgent. This is not purely a lack of discipline. Certain bacteria thrive on sugar and simple carbohydrates. When they grow in higher numbers, they can influence appetite signals and cravings. The brain receives chemical messages that push toward quick energy sources. Blood sugar instability caused by low fiber, high sugar eating patterns makes cravings stronger. A spike is followed by a drop, and the body demands another spike. This loop feeds both the imbalance and the desire that maintains it. Over time, the craving feels like personality, but it may be microbiology. Irregular bowel movements are another signal. Constipation for several days, then sudden loose stools, or a daily pattern that feels incomplete, uncomfortable, unsatisfying. Stool consistency changes, frequency changes. Some people go multiple times a day with urgency. Others struggle to go at all. The gut relies on fiber, hydration, and balanced bacteria to maintain rhythm. When fiber intake remains low and processed food dominates, stool bulk decreases, movement slows, or in some cases, inflammation speeds things up too much. The body tries to adapt, but the rhythm becomes unpredictable. This inconsistency is often dismissed as minor, yet it reflects deeper imbalance. Skin issues may also appear. Acne that does not respond to topical treatments, redness, eczema flares, unexplained rashes. The gut and skin are linked through immune pathways. When gut permeability increases and inflammatory signals circulate, the skin may respond. The immune system becomes more reactive. The surface of the body mirrors the internal state. Many people treat the skin alone without looking inward. Creams and cleansers may help temporarily, but the root imbalance remains. Low immunity can show up as frequent colds, slow recovery from infections, or constant mild fatigue. Since a large portion of the immune system resides in the gut, imbalance affects defense mechanisms. Beneficial bacteria help train immune cells to respond appropriately. Without them, the immune system may overreact or underperform. Minor illnesses feel more common. Healing feels slower. The body seems less resilient than before. None of this happens overnight. It builds slowly, week after week, month after month. Small changes compound. What begins as occasional discomfort becomes daily background noise. The body adapts to lower energy. The mind adapts to fog. The digestive system adapts to irregularity. Adaptation creates the illusion of normal, but normal does not always mean healthy. Most people do not realize what is happening because the pattern is widespread. Ultra-processed food is everywhere. It is convenient. It is affordable. It fits into busy schedules. When everyone eats this way, symptoms feel universal. Bloating after meals becomes a shared joke. Afternoon fatigue becomes expected. Sugar cravings become routine. When discomfort is common, it loses its warning label. It feels normal because it is common. The symptoms are mild at first. There is no dramatic pain, no immediate crisis, just subtle signals. A bit more gas, a bit more tiredness, a bit more irritability. The human mind is wired to respond to urgent threats, not slow shifts. Slow decline escapes attention. Many people blame stress. They blame long work hours. They blame aging. They blame genetics. They assume mood swings are personality traits. They assume fatigue is part of adulthood. They assume digestive discomfort is random. Rarely do they connect daily food patterns to microbial balance and immune signaling. Marketing also plays a role. Packaged foods are presented as normal lifestyle choices. Labels highlight calories or protein, but rarely discuss fiber diversity or microbiome health. The absence of obvious danger allows the pattern to continue unchecked. There is also a psychological element. Changing eating habits requires effort. It requires awareness. It requires questioning routines built over years. It is easier to accept mild discomfort than to examine daily behavior. Social environments reinforce the same patterns. Celebrations revolve around processed desserts. Meetings include packaged snacks. Travel encourages convenience food. When an entire culture moves in one direction, individual symptoms feel disconnected from the larger cause. Yet there is a turning point hidden within this understanding. The gut microbiome is not fixed, it is dynamic. It responds quickly to change. Research has shown that dietary shifts can alter microbial composition within days. Beneficial bacteria can begin to grow again when given fiber and plant diversity. Inflammatory markers can begin to decrease when ultra-processed foods are reduced. The intestinal lining has the ability to repair itself when supported properly. Short-chain fatty acid production can increase again when fiber intake rises. The body is designed for balance. It constantly seeks equilibrium. Hope begins with awareness. Once the connection is seen, the pattern becomes clearer. Bloating after certain meals is no longer random. Cravings are no longer mysterious. Brain fog has context. The body's signals start to make sense. This realization is powerful because it shifts the narrative from helplessness to possibility. The microbiome is shaped daily. That means it can be reshaped daily. Small adjustments can create measurable internal changes. Diversity can improve. Energy can stabilize. Mood can lift. Immunity can strengthen. The process does not require perfection. It requires direction. When the gut receives consistent nourishment from fiber-rich, minimally processed foods, beneficial bacteria gain strength. When sugar spikes decrease, cravings begin to soften. When meal timing becomes more regular and less constant, the digestive system regains rhythm. Inflammation can decrease gradually. The gut lining can rebuild its protective barrier. The communication between gut and brain can rebalance. The body wants balance. It is constantly trying to maintain it. Symptoms are signals, not enemies. They are messages that something needs adjustment. Ignoring them allows the imbalance to deepen. Listening to them opens the door to change. The turning point is not dramatic. It is quiet, just like the imbalance was. It begins with understanding that constant, ultra-processed, low-fiber eating is not harmless background behavior. It is an active force shaping internal biology every day. Once that truth becomes clear, the possibility of recovery becomes real. And the next step is learning exactly how to support that recovery in a simple, practical way that fits real life. Your gut is not weak. It sets overwhelmed. It has been working every single day trying to protect you, trying to balance bacteria, trying to repair the lining, trying to manage inflammation, all while facing constant pressure from one repeated habit. The bloating is not your body failing. The cravings are not a lack of discipline. The fatigue is not laziness. These are signals, clear signals that your internal system is overloaded. The good news is this: the gut is incredibly resilient. When you remove the stress, it responds. When you feed it correctly, it adapts. When you support it, it repairs. Change does not take years to begin. It starts sooner than most people expect. In the next video, I'll show you simple daily habits that rebuild your gut naturally. No extreme diets, no complicated rules, just practical steps that support your microbiome and help restore balance. If this opened your eyes, make sure you like this video so more people can learn what's really happening inside their bodies. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next part where we break down exactly how to reset your gut step by step. and share this with someone who always says, "My stomach is always upset." Your gut has been working for you your whole life. It's time to start working for it.